Thanks, Jim. Justin Stone here from EliteBaseball.tv, coming back with the tip of the week. And at the beginning of the season, as players are getting out and playing their first games, I always like to give you some tip that is relevant to your season start. And there's a lot of anxiety amongst players and parents that we get off to a good start in the season because we've been training all winter, and we want to see that training pay off and success on the field. From a hitting standpoint, when hitters come to me in the dugout looking for answers as a hitting coach, and they're going to come to you as a parent or a coach the same way. When things don't go as well, they often have questions that we want answered as well, thinking, why am I not having success? What are the reasons? It has to be something mechanical. Is my swing not right? And that's usually what they ask you when they're coming back to the dugout. But there's two things that I always have players ask themselves before me as the hitting coach is going to give them information about their actual swing. The two things we have to ask ourselves at the plate when we evaluate your at-bats. Did I swing at a good pitch? And was I on time? Because in those two cases, let's start with swinging at a good pitch. A hitter's pitch in a 0 or 1 strike count is defined as a ball that I can hit in the air and keep gap to gap. If I'm swinging at anything out of that zone early in the count, essentially I'm getting myself out. So that first question, am I swinging at a hitter's pitch? If we're swinging at fringe pitches in the zone and getting ourselves out, we've got the answer there right away. So that's what I'm looking for. Every ball out of the pitcher's hand, I'm thinking it is going to be in my hitter's zone, my hot zone, a 0 or 1 strike count ball that I know I can elevate and keep gap to gap. And if it's not there, I'm simply going to put on the brakes late. But a bigger one is timing. Even with subpar hitting mechanics, if I have exceptional timing, I'm going to be a good hitter. And the same thing holds true. If I have really good swing mechanics, but my timing is poor, I'm always going to struggle. So as a parent or coach, here is a way you can evaluate timing by your young athlete and make sure they're getting started on time. I tell players all the time, we can deal with having more time if the ball's traveling to home plate. I cannot deal with running out of time. Because if I run out of time, I've got no chance and my mechanics are going to fall apart very quickly. So getting started a little too soon versus a little too late is the way we want to err. How you evaluate that is with video. What you want to do is get the player and the pitcher, the hitter and the pitcher, both in frame on your handheld iPhone, Samsung, whatever you're using as your phone and mobile device. And when you do that, I want them both in frame so you can see how the timing of the pitcher's move and the hitter's move matches up. What we need to see, regardless of the player's hitting style, and we'll show this to you on some video I took at spring training while I was working with the Cubs, is I want to see the player's pelvis. The hitter's pelvis should advance no later than pitcher's release. If the ball is in flight already and my pelvis has not started the advance yet, we are going to be late. There is an exception for this. If we have players at a really, really young age, I'm talking 7 and 8-year-olds, and we have a hump on the ball as it's coming to home plate, the timing mechanism may start just a bit later. But as a generic approach, this is going to hold true for 95% of the players we're talking about and listening to this podcast today, is the start of my pelvis advancing, my belly button gaining ground, will coincide with the pitcher's release. A little before, and we can survive if I have good tempo. The body will be controlled slowly out to foot down. But ball in flight, and I haven't started that pelvis advance yet, we're going to be in trouble. Mechanics are going to break down. Most likely we're rushing tempo and we're firing from the top, and we have our answer right away of why we're struggling to the plate. I simply didn't get started on time. So those are the two questions as you evaluate your at-bats early. People are quick to point out there has to be something wrong with my swing. Very rarely is that the case. It's more likely I'm not swinging at a good hitter's pitch, or 2, I simply didn't get started on time. So now you can use your phone and figure out on your own, are we getting started on time? And we can check that one off is one of the reasons that players are or are not having success early in the year. You can see this at EliteBaseball.tv. Come check us out. We're free for 48 hours. And until next week, this is Justin Stone, and I'll see you on the field.